Goblin Art, I'm Lula. Right, I've got a Xenomorph and I have some pigment from Tiny Turner, Ether. And I've pulled out this glow in the dark green. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'm not sure if it's going to work. Right, I am only going to be painting parts, like the top of the head, in between the ribs and probably along the tail. This is going to be the primary colour, and obviously, and I will be backing it with black because original Alien to me always looked like green and black. So enjoy some music while I colour this in.
Come alive, drawing ghosts with our minds. Paint the shadows on the wall. Creativity will never fall. Dancing under ghostly lights. Art flows free like midnight tides. Colors swirling in the air. Imagination everywhere. Fun and spooky, it's our way. Every night and every day we create and spirits play in this haunted cabaret. Crafting dreams with eerie charms. Haunted brushstrokes in our arms. Lyrics echo with a fright. Artistry in ghostly blight. Whisper tales in haunted halls. Drawing spirits as night falls. Painting life with ghostly grace in our creative spooky space. Fun and spooky, it's our way. Every night and every day we create and spirits play in this haunted cabaret. Fun and spooky, it's our way. Every night and every day we create and spirits play in this haunted cabaret.
Okay, that's looking good. I'm happy with that. I'm not sure the glow in the dark's going to do anything. I'm going to be using the 2-hour fast resin. So here we go, mixing it up. I'm using my Estoyo mixer, and obviously this is the Apex resin. I'm going to be adding Let's Resin black mica powder. I do goof up here. I completely forgot what I've been trying to remember to do, and that's put the pigment in the bottom, because I do get it all, because it fluffs up, it goes all over my glove. And putting it in, in like, in the bottom and then adding, it just makes it easier, I find, and I forgot. Please check out my description box for discount codes. There should be one for Into Resin and for BB Craft. Now I'm having it a good stir because I don't want any mica powder mixed in. Obviously this is sped up. I'm not pouring this as fast as I seem. I give it a moment. I have used this mould once before when I first started using resin, and it came, I've seen that you can order this particular mould from like Temu, but I did order this one before I knew that from Amazon, and I thought that it might be a different brand or a different, but I don't think it is. It's not great. I'm using a balance board, and I think the way that this particular mould has been made, it doesn't give it great support, so I have to keep an eye on it. There's not as much resin up in the head part that I'd like. Yeah, it keeps draining down to like the base of his tail. And quite perfect, isopropyl alcohol by the way, and quite perfectly the Tina Turner pot was absolutely perfect for this to help me balance it. And I do end up using more than one of them. I'm also using my heat gun. I'm not too concerned if there's a few micro bubbles at all, so there we go. And I think you saw me also giving it a little bit of a poke with my silicone tool. So I'm just babysitting it for 5. Next, so I've got an 8x8 canvas board and one of my palette knives. This is Sennelier Black, is an abstract, that's student grade, and then I've got a golden and Holbein fluorescent and luminous green, and also Golden's glow in the dark paint. I'm going to be doing a palette knife on this. I'm not massively concerned about perfection. I'm just enjoying. If you do happen to do anything like this or take, you know, inspiration from me doing this, you know, you don't necessarily need heavy body paints for this. You would just need plenty of layers. Sennelier Abstract is classed as like a student grade paint, but I use it all the time. Love Sennelier, and it's really cheap and cheerful for projects like this. The greens of, like I said, they're fluorescent and luminous, so under the right lights it is gonna glow up, which is cool. It's always a fun effect, but I wanted a mixture of the two. You can't really tell on the camera, but the two greens are quite different. In person, you can see there's a difference. And not forgetting, when these dry, you know, obviously the black is black. It's a Mars black, by the way. So it's a darker one, because you can get almost translucent blacks, but this one's quite opaque. Obviously, acrylic paints always dry darker. So once they're dry, you do see that. But this paint has the heavy body golden and Holbein are fabulous. And I don't need to do any more layers than what I'm showing on the camera. I'm adding in some of the glow in the dark acrylic paint as well, just for something different, just for the fun of it, for the sake of it, for the giggles. So I'm gonna let that dry and move on to the next part. So it's been 2 hours and the Xenomorph is ready. Really impressed with this Apex resin. Does exactly what it says on the tin. So are we ready? The tail will harden. Ta-da! I really love that. It's shiny as well. I noticed that it's got a nice shine to it. He's really cool. Azumi. I say him, it's a her. Yeah, she's awesome. There's a few tiny little mica bugs, and I'm not bothered. I'm not even going to fix them because it's going to go great with what I'm doing. And I just want to have a check to see if there's a slight glow. Yes, not brilliant, but you know, it's cool enough. I noticed it's a bit better in the teeth. The tail will harden, you know, will stop getting floppy after a couple of hours. So next, this frame, it's one of those box frame, picture frames. I picked this one up from Hobbycraft in the UK. When I purchased a bunch of, I don't know if the offer's still on, but they were selling them half price, which is great, especially as I'm hacking into this one. So I'm just using my craft knife just to distort claw marks, scratchy marks. I honestly could have done more, but I didn't want to go overboard at the same time. But it's fun. Got to be careful, obviously be very careful if you do anything like this. You know, careful of slipping and making sure that you have a good sharp craft knife or whatever you choose to use. This is my favourite one that I'm using at the moment. It did what I wanted it to, and I done so quite safely. So happy, I believe, with the scratches. And now I'm going to continue, because obviously the frame is black, and I have actually sprayed this because it would have been quite glossy otherwise. So it was sanded a little and taken outside for a spray with just black primer paint, just so that I could get a better purchase with the acrylic paint that I'm using. And I'm just using a craft knife just to move it around and make it look a little bit more interesting, better than, you know, just placed on. Now, this is my artist's, this is an artist's splatter brush. You can use tough brushes. This is one I had from a set years ago. I'm just flicking, sorry my arm's in the way, but you can see there, it's just flicking, doing a little flicking action, and I'm just putting a board up just to protect other pieces of stuff, and I don't want green paint absolutely everywhere. So that's the nice splatter effect. Again, I didn't go too crazy with it. I'll give you a closer look now. It's fun, it's interesting, just gives another, you know, bit of a dynamic. So next, I've got out my JDiction UV resin. That is Let's Resin green alcohol ink. And I'm just going to put some into a pot. My silicone pots, little ones, have gone walkies again. I put them safe, I clean, and I think there's a silicone pot eating monster in my studio. I'm going to have a good look, because I think I think a certain pussycat has possibly knocked them down behind my unit. So I'll be having a look tomorrow. So I'm using my silicone tool, and I'm pulling and teasing the UV resin down. I wanted it to look a bit like, you know, the Xenomorph alien that have like the acidy type saliva, goo, gunk, whatever. So I just wanted, my husband would go nuts because he massive Alien fan, and he's like, it's called this, and I'll be like, okay, nice. Oh, can you see that the UV torch is picking up on the luminous colours as well? So that's cool. So I'm just moving it around. I'm just adding some of this UV resin, mainly to the parts where there's scrapings and stuff. We all know from the movie, you know, with it all dripping down from her mouth. She's a dribbly girl. So I just wanted to put that onto the frame as well as the piece. So I'm happy-ish with that. Now, my brain wasn't in gear for this, so I've just tried to place it. It doesn't fit. It's because there's a backing, which was just over the other side of my room. Brain not engaged, and yeah, you need to glue that in place. Yeah. So you just sat out. This is a frame that I'd used previously for something else and ended up pulling it out a while back, and I thought I'll leave the gold there, because if it picks up any, you know, if it picks up anything, at all, like the gold shine in the background picked up at all. I don't mind it, so I've kept it there and didn't bother taking it away. Plus it was glued to the back and then I couldn't be bothered to pull it off. So there you go. So again, using my UV torch and UV resin, it's a point of interest and I think it looks cool. I did consider mixing in some like glow in the dark pigment with the UV resin, but I wasn't entirely sure how easy it would be to cure. So on this occasion, I've not done it. I've just used the green. So there we go. And just a quick see. I was hoping to get it more as drips coming down, but that's okay, that's fine. I potentially, after this, I realised that I could have just created drips on my silicone mat. And once again, brain wasn't engaged. I think I was just enjoying myself. But afterwards, I was like, oh, you could have just put it on the mat. Doy. But never mind, we live and learn. I can do that effect with something else that I'll be making soon. So got my glue gun out. This is just to attach my Xenomorph into the frame on the canvas. There we go. Do love a glue gun. Dislike all the little strings that you get hanging off it. That's where I'm pulling off at the moment. I didn't want the gluey stringy bits still in there, even though I'm going to be adding resin stringy bits. Just wanted some hanging off her chin and off her toothy pegs. Ah, the sweet thing. She's hungry, bless her. That's why she's dribbling. She just wants to eat you or impregnate you. I'll give you babies to grow in your belly. Bless her heart. She have a heart? Possibly. Who knows? But I'm using my silicone tool just to tease some down, just for her to have some dribble. I have done this before using like a glue. It's a technique used with Warhammer, 40k with explode. It's cool. I might do it again at some point for you guys, but. What do you think? I'm really pleased with it. I'm loving the pigment. I'm really liking the pigment on the Xenomorph and it was enjoyable. Thank you for watching. Love you. Stay weird. Magic beats within my heart. Riding dragons through the storm.